All right. Now you should be able to hear. Oh no. I was talking for like a minute. It's okay. No worries. A little technical difficulty. All right, sorry. So Benjamin, Lush, Wing Chun, Sal, Casey, how's it going? Glad you guys are here. All right, we're gonna breeze through the game today. All the games. Because I want to see what happens in the story. They fell down a well or something, a little trap door. I want to see what happens to them. All right. Let's do this. Ah. Okay. Can I get it on the third word? A-E-O. Aorta. E. Hmm. Boat? Boat with an E? Is that a word? Fuck. Boats. I'm gonna try. Let's eliminate some letters, okay? Oats. O-A-T. Wait. Oh my god. All sorts of technical difficulties. Huh. All right. All right. O-A-T. An E too. I bet the E is at the end. Or O something A-T-E. Olate. Onate. Ocate. Ogate. Maybe it's A-O-A-T-O. Plate. Edo. Nito. Nito. Oh my god, it accepted it. Okay, so it's O. Oh, it is. O something A-T-E. Oxate. Oh, wait. Oh, hate. Oh, jate. Oh, Kate. Olate. Olate? Ovate. What? Oats. Plate. Oh, late. Oh! Wait! What? Is that a word? Oh. Oh, wait. Oh, Tate. Oh, yate. Oh, date? Odate? Oh, gate. Oh, hate? Oh, jate? Oh, Kate? Oh, E8? Oz. Oxide. Ox. Ox. What? Ovate. Sounds like a word, right? Offate. Off-8. Off-8. Oh no! Oh, gate. I'll gate. I'll gate. Odate. What? 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 What is this word? Owate. Oi. Oyate. Oi. U. 8. I guess we just go through. Oh, gate. Oh, fate. Oh, date. Oh, date. Oh, wate. What is this word? Oh, tate. Oh, late. I think. Oh, Kate. Ovate. Ovate. What is that? What? At least I got it. What is ovate? Ovate.
Ovate.
Having an oval outline or ovoid shape like an egg. That's not a real word. What's up, Psyduck? What's up, Sunny Side? How's it going? What's up, Nikki? Glad you're here. Definition. Ovate. No one knows what ovate means, okay? It's not a real word. Can't believe I got that one. You're ovate shaped. All right. What's this? Stressed boomer, powder head, alpha soft X lead, times primary silent, a dot, short popsicle by Bangkok. A dot. So it's like maybe a list. A dot. X. That must be something, right? Dot X alpha times. Oh, times multiplication. By, I think. Yeah. Okay. Alpha lead boomer primary short soft lead soft head powder lead boomer alpha beta primary lead head lead alpha. Aha! Boomer silent soft short popsicle short soft silent powder stress. What is Bangkok doing here? Thailand. Bang. Bang. Boom. Ah, wait. Pop. And pow. Hell yeah. Short, soft, stressed, silent. Maybe it has to do with pronunciation. Oh, hell yeah. That's right. What was that? 1 minute? Come on. All right. Told you, we're going to breeze through this. Let's do it. Breeze. Lead. Oh, wait. Are we? Soft. No, can't be too confident. A lot of times when we get it, like, really, we do really well in the beginning. Yeah, near the end, it takes like a million years. Head, follow, fast. Bullet. Shoot. Fire. Gun. How about lead? Leader. Expedition. Reload. Lead. How about metal? Soft. Graphite. Pencil. Right. Bar. Command. Range. Guide. Poison. Lead. Poisoning. Lead poisoning. Lead. Lead. Powder. Gun. Actor. General. Substance. Molecule. Element. Density. Trek. Not doing well. Expedition we tried. Lead, lead, load. Leading. Loading. Boat. Go. Do. Want. Get. Path. Trail. Through. Lead through. Lead forward. Excursion. Gold. How about alchemy? How about a charge? You can lead a charge, right? Lead what else? You can lead an army. You can lead a battle. You can lead a meeting. Lead an organization. Nope. Conduct. Horse. Electricity. Magnet. Experiment. Die. What kind of lead are we talking about? Regulate. First. Top. Second. Third place. Wait. Fourth. Hold on. Fifth. 10th. 6th. Best. Good. Why is 4th? 4. 2. 3. Board. 4th place. Placement. 5. How about a triple? Quadruple. Quarter. Oh, so good. All right, good job. Good job. How fast was that? Nice work, Losh. What else is there? Quarters, half, fourth, net. Earnings, quarterly. That was fast. Hell yeah. Told you. We will breeze through it. It's the first time I'm right. All right. Gotta remember to change the camera angle. What is this? Oh, love me some of these. I forgot what they're called. But this says Sakura. Yeah, so easy. Oh my god, did you see that? Wait, did you see that? Did you see that? I opened it this way. Look. It worked. Oh my god. This seems to be a good day. Eat a quarter of it? Yeah, make me. It's sakura flavored. I hope. See that? Mmm. Yum, 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 yum. All right. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Soft. Bit fluffy. Hmm. It's sakura flavored, I think. Hmm. Yeah. And like a light sweetness. I think it's just right. I think it's pretty good. You know what number comes to my head right now? You know what's coming? It's very strong. Number 8. This is an 8 out of 10. Donut? 8 out of 10. Oh, Psyduck. It's funny you would say Castella because look what we have right here. Look, if you can't read it, it says Castella. Okayama White Peach Castella. Look at those peaches. Look how cute they are. Look. Look. I don't think I've ever seen peaches this nice. Or maybe I have. How is the 11-foot 8 inches bridge doing? Isn't it like 12'4" or something now? Oh god. I can't recreate my performance. Ah, I get it. Nope. All right. This also looks good. Oh. Look at this cake thing. Yum, 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 yum. Ooh. Okay, 2 people said I use up all my strength for the previous packaging. Yeah. Now this also looks good. Smells kind of weird. It's kind of peachy, maybe. All right. Hmm. Hmm. Wait, is this a piece of paper? Oh, it is. It is, right? I think so. Wait, hold on. Yeah, yeah, definitely paper. Hmm. All right. I guess it's peachy. Not as good as the previous one, but still good. So I'm gonna give it a 7.5. 7.5. Yeah. The paper increased it from 7.4 to 7.5. Secretly banana flavored peaches. Oh, that would be a real head fake. I would hate it. I would complain to the company. I'm not doing your sponsorships no more. What's up, Rude Noise? How's it going? You missed our dominant performance in the games. All right. And you also missed my show of strength. All right. You ready? You discovered you got a sunburn? Like where? All right. So what happened last week? All right. So last week, that Valley Master guy, Gong Sunji, the guy who I'm starting to hate more and more as time goes on, he challenges Yang Guo and Xiaolong Nu to a battle, and then he allows them to go to this some sword room in the back to get a weapon. All right. And there's a little trap that they avoided. So yeah, I guess he tried to kill them with the trap, but they avoided it. And then, but it's still a sword chamber, so they stepped in and they chose. They looked at like a bunch of different swords, and in this room, there's a lot of swords. Right, they're like a bunch of different ones, but they see this pair of swords that seems like the Valley Master tried to hide. It seems they're black and they have like blunt edges. Okay, so it doesn't seem like something you would kill people with. And they're named Gentleman and Lady. And the swords match. So the two take them. But before leaving, Xiaolongnu happens to accidentally prick her fingers on some passion flowers. Uh-oh. Now, Yang Guo has no chance to explain what that is because the disciples whisked them off back to the main hall. And as they got out, Gong Sunji, the Valley Master, he seems surprised that they chose those weapons. So there might be something weird about them. So the duel begins. Gong Sunji, he goes easy on Xiaolongnu, of course, and he focuses all of his strongest attacks on Yang Guo. Now, as they're fighting, it turns out the twin swords, they may look blunt, but they're super sharp. Yeah, they're like hella special treasures. They slice off the tip of the Valley Master's golden saber thing. All right, so there's something special about these blades. Gong Sunji, he uses his he feels like he's losing, so he uses his special reversed yin yang blade technique, and he like overpowers them at first. But then they use the Jade Maiden swordplay to regain the advantage. But at a critical moment, Xiaolongnu's passion flower poison flares up, and she's hurt. And Gong Sunji takes this opportunity to capture Yang Guo. And he takes him to a room. He tortures Yang Guo by burying him under like a bunch of passion flowers, getting pricked all over the place, and it's agonizing, right? And he threatens Xiaolongnu. He said that if Yang Guo doesn't get the antidote within 12 hours, then he would die. And Gong Sunji said that Xiaolongnu must marry him, okay, and if she does, then he'll give Yang Guo the antidote. And Xiaolongnu, she loves him, so she immediately agrees. And then they go out, they leave Yang Guo alone. As he's there, okay, he's hurt. The Valley Master's daughter, Gongsun Lue, she sneaks in to give Yang Guo the antidote and to free him, right? And she does so, but then she gets caught as she went out to do something, I guess. But then she gets caught by her father. The Valley Master then accuses her of stealing medicine, and he sentences her to death. Now, this whole scene's going on. Yang Guo already snuck out, and he's watching in secret. Okay, the interaction between these two, and she's about to die. But at the last moment, he jumps in to save her life. All right, but Gong Sunji is pretty strong. He triggers this trap door on the floor and he pushes them into it. So Yang Guo and Gongsun Lue fall into it. Okay, seems to be like a well or something. Maybe there's water underneath, and that's where we left off. How's that? Oh, also, Gongsun Lue is in her undergarments, right? Conveniently. Your shoulders are sunburned? You were in the creek all day, catching critters. What did you catch? How can a sword be blunt and sharp at the same time? Yeah, I have no idea. All right. You caught isopods, pond skaters, frogs, crawdads. I see. Wait, what do you do with them once you catch them? Do you eat them? Do you make them fight? Oh, you return them? Okay. That's nice of you. All right. Are you ready? Chapter 19, Part 1. You bet on crawdads? Ah, you won. Good job. All right. The old woman underground. Ah, wait, who do they meet? Under here. The instant Young Guo's body hit the water, his heart lifted. At least their lives were safe for the moment. Had they kept falling from such a height, they would surely have died. The force of the plunge drove them deep, sinking endlessly, as though they would never stop. Should I make it bigger? Oh no. Nope. Nope. He held his breath and waited for the downward rush to ease, then wrapped his left arm around Luo and stroked upward with his right. Just as his head broke the surface for a breath, a foul stench hit his nose, and waves surged on his left as some massive creature rushed toward him. Oh shit. A thought flashed through his mind. That treacherous valley master tossed us down here. How could it be anything good? He swept his right palm hard to the left. A loud crack rang out as he struck something hard, and the waters erupted. Borrowing the rebound, he carried Gongsun Luo with him and dodged to the right. He was no swimmer. The only reason he could last below the surface was his inner strength holding his breath. All was pitch black. From the splashing at his left and behind, he knew the attackers were close. His right hand flipped out and suddenly pressed against something cold, coarse, and broad, like the scaled armor of some aquatic beast. Startled, he thought, could there truly be venomous dragons in this world? He pushed hard and leapt upward, forcing the creature down into the depths. He took a deep breath, ready to dive again, only for his right foot to land on solid ground. The unexpected impact sent pain jolting up his leg. But relief outweighed the pain. He reached out and felt rough stone, the rocks at the edge of the abyss. Fearing the creature would strike again, he scrambled upward. Once seated securely, his terror eased a little. Gongsun Luo had swallowed several mouthfuls of water and was half conscious. Yang Guo laid her across his lap and gently pressed her back to expel the water. From the rocks came a scratching sound. The stench thickened. Several creatures had crawled out of the pool. What are these creatures? Gongsun Luo stirred, sat up, and clung to Yang Guo's neck. What are they? Don't be afraid, Yang Guo said. Hide behind me. But she didn't move. Instead, she held him tighter, whispering, Crocodiles! Crocodiles! Oh shit. Oh no. Yang Guo had seen many crocodiles while living on Peach Blossom Island. These creatures were more vicious and ruthless than any tiger or wolf. Even he, Guofu, and the Wu brothers had never dared approach them. He had not imagined he would meet them here in this underground abyss. He steadied himself and listened. From their heavy steps, he judged 3 crocodiles were creeping closer. Softly, Gongsun Luo said, Brother Yang, I never thought I'd die by your side. There was a strange note of comfort in her voice. Young Guo laughed. If we must die, we'd best kill a few crocodiles first. The lead crocodile was now less than a jung from his feet. Lua cried, "Strike it!" Young Guo said, "Wait a moment." He let his right foot hang over the edge. The crocodile crawled closer, opened its huge jaws, and snapped at him. He drew his foot back and lashed out in a kick, catching the beast under the jaw. Damn, he's faster than a crocodile snap. It flipped backward into the chasm, splashing wildly. The pool below churned as the pack stirred, but the other two crocodiles continued their advance. Though poisoned by the passion flowers, Young Guo's martial strength had not waned. That kick carried several 100 pounds of force. Even so, his toes stung faintly from the impact, and the crocodile, though knocked into the water, still swam with ease, testament to its thick hide. Bare-handed, I can't possibly deal with so many of them, he thought. Sooner or later, both Miss Gongsun and I will end up in their jaws. How can I kill them all? He reached out for a large stone to use as a weapon, but the rocks were bare and smooth, not even a grain of sand to grip. The two crocodiles drew closer. He asked quickly, "Do you have a sword on you?" He's he's almost naked. On me? Gongsun Lua murmured. She suddenly remembered she had left her outer garments behind in the pill chamber. Wearing only a thin inner shift, nestled in Young Guo's arms like this, a hot flush swept over her, embarrassment blooming. Yet beneath it, a shy, sweet joy. If only Steve Irwin were here. Yeah, true. Young Guo focused entirely on the crocodiles and noticed nothing unusual about her. The two in front were now less than a jung away. Two more waited behind. A palm strike could knock them into the pool, but they would only climb back up again in moments, while his strength would continue to drain. So he held his power in check, waiting until the two crocodiles crawled within 3 feet. Then he suddenly struck out with both palms. 2 sharp cracks sounded as he hit their heads. Slow to react, the crocodiles did not evade, but their hides were tough. They only reeled and slid back into the pool. In that instant, the two behind had already reached them. Young Guo kicked one off the rock with his left foot, but he kicked too forcefully. Holding Lua became unstable, and she slipped sideways toward the edge. Gongsun Lua cried out, caught the rock with her right hand, and pushed herself upward. Young Guo thrust a palm against her back and lifted her to safety. The delay allowed the last crocodile to rush up, jaws gaping for Young Guo's shoulder. There was no time for fist or foot, and though he could dodge, its closing jaws would surely bite into Lua. In the split second of danger, he grabbed its upper jaw with one hand and the lower one with the other. He summoned his inner strength and shouted. A sharp crack rang out as the jaws split apart. The crocodile died instantly. Oh shit. He's hella strong. He just ripped the freaking jaws out of that crocodile. Though he had killed the beast, cold sweat soaked Young Guo's back. Lua whispered, "You're not hurt, are you?" Her voice held both gentleness and concern, and his heart stirred. No, but he had used too much force. His arms throbbed faintly. Lua saw the dead crocodile lying motionless on the rock and felt deep admiration. How did you kill it bare-handed? In this darkness, you still know exactly where to strike. I lived with Auntie in the ancient tomb for many years. Even the faintest light is enough for me to see. Mentioning Auntie and the tomb, he let out a long sigh. Suddenly, agony tore through him, unbearable, wrenching. He cried out and lashed a kick that sent the dead crocodile flying into the pool. The two climbing crocodiles heard his scream and leapt back into the water in fright. Damn, he scares even crocodiles. Gongsun Lua quickly grasped his arm, her other hand gently stroking his forehead, hoping to ease his pain. Yang Guo knew the poison in his body would soon kill him, even without this peril. The Valley Master had said, oh, she didn't give him the antidote yet. Okay, she was caught before she could do it. The Valley Master had said the torment would last 36 days before death. If the pain struck him several more times, he feared he would not be able to endure and might take his own life. But once he died, Gongsun Lua would have no one to protect her. She is in danger only because of me. No matter how much it hurts, I must hold on. If that Valley Master has even a trace of fatherly affection, he will regret this and come to save her. Yeah, will he? I really doubt it. Lost in these thoughts, he forgot Xiaolongnu for the moment, and the pain eased slightly. Miss Gongsun, don't be afraid, he said. I think your father will come for you. He only hates me. He has always loved you. He must already be regretting his actions. Tears fell from Gongsun Lua's eyes. When my mother was alive, father truly loved me, but after she died, he grew colder and colder. Still, he would never hate me in his heart. She paused, remembering countless strange moments. Brother Yang, I suddenly realize father has always been afraid of me. Yang Guo said, surprised, Afraid of you? That's strange. Lua said, Yes. Whenever he sees me, he acts unnatural, as though hiding some grave secret, terrified I might discover it. All these years, he's tried to avoid me whenever he can. Wait, who's the old lady? The old lady underneath. Who is she? Is she the mother? Is she Lua's mother? In the past, she had sensed his odd behavior and felt puzzled, but always assumed it was grief over her mother that had changed him. But now she had fallen into the crocodile pit, clearly a trap her father had set. He had moved the 3 furnaces in the pillow chamber to open the hidden panel. If he hated Yang Guo and wanted him dead, Yang Guo was already poisoned by the passion flowers. Leaving him alone would have been enough to kill him. Yang Guo was already falling toward the crocodile pit, almost certain to die. Why then had her father pushed her in as well? That single push, how could it contain even a shred of fatherly affection? It could not have been a moment's mistake in anger. Wait, is she not? Maybe she's not the actual daughter. Oh! I think her father... Okay, here's my theory, okay? Her father... the mother cheated on the father, and then Gongsun Luer is not his actual daughter. She's a clone, okay, or that. It could not have been a moment's mistake in anger. There had to be malice and conspiracy behind it. The more she thought, the heavier her heart grew, yet the clearer her mind became. Her father's strange behavior over the years, which she could never understand and had dismissed as mere eccentricity, now seemed rooted entirely in one word: fear. But why would he fear his own daughter? That she could not fathom. The crocodile pool churned noisily as the beasts tore apart the slain crocodile. For a moment, none came up the rocks. Seeing her dazed, Yang Guo asked, Did you perhaps stumble upon some secret of your father's without knowing it? Lua shook her head. No. Father has always acted uprightly, fair in all matters. Everyone in the valley respects him. What he did to you today was wrong, but he has never behaved in such a twisted way before. Yang Guo knew nothing of the past affairs in Passionless Valley and could not guess on her behalf. Deep underground, the crocodile pit was icy cold. Their soaked clothes made the chill bite even deeper. Youngguo, having trained on the cold jade bed, felt nothing, but Gongsun Lua was shivering uncontrollably and huddled close to him for warmth. Starting to look like an anime. Thinking her heart must be heavy with fear and sorrow, he tried to make her smile, yet the sight of the crocodiles tearing at flesh, with their gaping jaws and hideous faces, made him grin wryly instead. Miss Gongsun, if we die together today, what do you want to be in the next life? As for me, I refuse to become something as ugly as a crocodile. Gongsun Lua gave a small laugh. Then you should become a narcissus, fair and fragrant, beloved by all. Yang Guo said, if anyone should be a flower, it would be someone like you. As for me, I'd probably become a morning glory, or a dung daisy. A dung daisy. Lua smiled. And if the king of hell ordered you to become a flat passion flower, would you do it? Yang Guo fell silent, regret gnawing at him. With Auntie and me performing the pure heart sword, that treacherous valley master was no match. He was already flustered, moments from defeat, but fate played its cruel trick. Auntie was pricked by the passion flowers in the sword chamber, and the sword requires 2 hearts attuned, 2 spirits joined in tenderness. Ay, such is destiny. No words can change it. But how is Auntie now? Thinking of Xiaolongnu, the aches of his wounds flared again. Seeing he did not answer, Gongsun Lua realized she should not have mentioned the passion flowers. She quickly changed the subject. Brother Yang, you can see the crocodiles, but in front of me it's pitch black. Blah blah. It's pitch dark. I can't see anything. Yang Guo laughed. You're better off not seeing their ugly faces. He patted her shoulder lightly to comfort her. The moment his hand touched her, he felt cold, smooth skin beneath his fingers. He suddenly remembered she had undressed in the pill chamber, wearing only a thin inner shift. Her shoulders and arms were bare. Startled, he drew back his hand, realizing he could see in the dark and that her half-bare state was entirely visible to him. Lua cried, "Ah!" and instinctively shifted away. Yang Guo also moved back a little, took off his robe, and draped it over her. As he loosened the garment, he thought of Xiaolongnu, of Cheng Ying sewing his robe, of Lu Wushuang, who would have died in his stead. Regret welled in him. His life had been filled with the kindness of women, and he had repaid far too little. He let out a long sigh. Gongsun Lua straightened the robe and tied the sash. Suddenly, she felt a small bundle inside the robe's pocket. She took it out and handed it to him. What's this? Do you need it? Yang Guo received it. It felt heavy. What is it? Lua laughed. It's in your pocket. How should I know? Yang Guo examined it. It was a small cloth pouch he had never seen. He opened it, and light flared before his eyes. Inside were 4 items, one of which was a tiny dagger with a pearl the size of a longan set in its hilt, glowing gently and illuminating Lua's delicate face. So the legends of luminous pearls are true, he thought. Lua suddenly gasped. Ah! She snatched up a small jade vial from the pouch. This is the passionless pill. Yonggo's heart leapt. This is the medicine that cures the passion flower poison? Lua shook the vial and felt something inside. Delighted, she said, Yes, I searched the pill chamber for half the day and never found it. How did you end up with it? How did you get it? Why haven't you taken it? Don't you know this is the passionless pill? Her joy made her speak non-stop, giving Yang Guo no chance to reply. What happened? Yang Guo scratched his head. I haven't the slightest idea. How could this vial end up in my pocket? This is truly strange. With the soft glow of the luminous pearl on the dagger's hilt, Lua could finally clearly see. Besides the dagger and the jade vial, the cloth pouch held a square piece of sheepskin and half a ganoderma. A thought struck her. This broken ganoderma. Old Mischief snapped it. Old Mischief? Youngwol asked. Yes, I managed the fungus chamber. That ganoderma grew in the white jade basin. Old Mischief raised havoc in the four chambers, destroying books, stealing swords, kicking furnaces, breaking the fungus. All his doing. Youngwol suddenly understood. Yes. Yes! What is it? She asked quickly. This pouch was placed beside me by Senior Zhou, he said. He now knew Zhou Botong had secretly assisted him, so he referred to him respectfully rather than calling him Old Mischief. Lua understood most of it as well. So he was the one who gave it to you? No, Youngwol said. That senior wanders the world in play. His moves are as unpredictable as ghosts and spirits. He took my human skin mask and my shears without my noticing, and he put this pouch in my pocket, and I didn't feel a thing. His abilities. I can't match even half of them. Lua nodded. Yes. Father said he stole important items from the valley and must be captured, but he stripped naked in front of everyone, and he wasn't hiding a thing. Youngwol laughed. He stripped bare and fooled your father completely. This pouch was already in my pocket long before. Aha. Lua pulled out the jade stopper from the vial, cupped her left palm, and gently tipped the vial. A single pill, square as a dice, deep black and foul-smelling, fell into her hand. Most pills were round for swallowing. Medicinal cakes were flat or rectangular. A square pill like this was something Youngwol had never seen. Yeah, how do you take this one? He took it from her and examined it closely. Lua shook the bottle again, then turned it upside down and tapped it. No more. Only this one. Quickly, take it. If you drop it into the pool, it'll be a disaster. Youngwol raised the pill to his mouth, but her words, only this one, made him pause. Only one? Does your father have any more? That's why it's so precious, Lua said. Otherwise, why would father be so furious? There's only one pill. Youngwol was shocked. His voice trembled. If that's the case, my auntie is also poisoned by the passion flowers. How can your father save her? Lua sighed. I once heard senior brother say that passionless pills were plentiful in the valley long ago. Somehow only one remained, and making another is nearly impossible. The rare ingredients can't be gathered. That's why he always warned us to avoid the passion flowers. A small prick heals in a few days, but a deep poisoning, even father becomes helpless. One pill can save only one person. Youngwol groaned repeatedly. Then why hasn't your father come to save you? Lua understood instantly. Seeing him place the pill back into the vial, she sighed softly. Hi, Brother Young. Your devotion to Miss Long is so deep. How could my father not feel ashamed? I only hope that I'll carry the passionless pill back up to save her life. Youngwol had guessed her worry. He gave a faint smile and said, I hope a kind-hearted girl like you can leave this danger safely, and I also hope I can save my auntie's life. Even if I cure the poison of the passion flowers, I still can't survive trapped in this crocodile pool. Saving my auntie is what matters most. Besides, auntie's beauty is unmatched. That valley master Gongsun wants to marry her. That's normal enough for any man. But since she refused, he lured her into the sword chamber and tried to kill her, already vicious to the extreme. And though he knows the only heartless pill was stolen, that her passion flower poison is incurable, and gives her only 36 days left, he still wants to force her to submit. These crocodiles may have kinder hearts than he does. Lua knew that no amount of persuading would make him take the medicine. She regretted having told him there was only one pill to begin with, so she said, "This Lingju can't cure poison, but it greatly strengthens the body. Hurry and take it." Yang Guo said, "All right." He split the half Lingju into 2 pieces, ate one, and brought the other to her lips. "Who knows when your father will let you out? Take this to fend off the cold." Seeing his earnest concern, Lua couldn't bear to refuse. She opened her mouth and ate it. The Lingju had grown for centuries. After they swallowed it, warmth spread through their limbs and bones. They felt incomparably comfortable. Their spirits lifted, and their minds grew sharper. Lua suddenly said, "Old urchin stole the heartless pill. Of course father already knew. Saying he could cure your wounds was just a fool dragon girl." Dragon girl? Xiaolong knew. "And forcing me to hand over the pill was only an act." Yang Guo had long suspected this, but didn't want to add to her sorrow, so he hadn't said it. Hearing her realize it herself, he said, "After your father lets you go, you must be careful in everything. If you can, you should find a way to leave the valley and see the outside world." Lua sighed. "You don't know my father. Since he's thrown me into the crocodile pool, he'll never change his mind and let me go. He already mistrusted me, and after this, how could he let me live? Brother Young, won't you allow me to die with you?" Yang Guo was about to offer a few comforting words when another crocodile slowly crawled onto the rock. Its 4 claws were about to land on the sheepskin he had shaken out of the small pouch. A thought struck him. "Let me see what's strange about this sheepskin." He lifted the dagger and thrust between the crocodile's eyes. With a soft thud, the blade sank straight in. The dagger was a razor sharp weapon that could cut gold and jade. The crocodile thrashed a few times, fell back into the pool, belly up, and died. Yang Guo said happily, "With this dagger, our many crocodile brothers in the pool won't be so lucky anymore." He picked up the sheepskin with his left hand and used the faint glow of the night pearl in the dagger's hilt to examine it closely. One side of the sheepskin was rough and unremarkable. Flipping it over, he found drawings of houses and rocks. He studied it for a moment and saw nothing unusual. "This sheepskin has nothing to do with anything." Lua had been looking over his shoulder. She suddenly said, "This is the layout of our Passionless Valley's Narcissus Manor. Look, this is the little stream you came in by. This is the main hall. This is the sword chamber. This is the Lingju room, and this is the pill room." She pointed as she spoke. Yang Guo suddenly said, "Huh? Look, look!" He pointed at the water lines drawn beneath the pill room. Lua said, "That's the crocodile pool. Ah, here's another passage." "All right." Man, Jobotong's the MVP, huh? Seeing the passage drawn beside the crocodile pool, the two couldn't help but feel a surge of hope. Yang Guo compared the map with the real layout. "If this drawing isn't false, there must be another exit down this passage. Only," Lua finished, "the strange thing is that the passage slopes downward the whole way. The crocodile pool is already deep underground. If it goes down further, where can it lead?" The passage ended at the edge of the sheepskin, its destination unknown. Yang Guo said, "Has your father or senior brother ever mentioned anything about this pool?" Lua shook her head. "I only learned today that so many terrifying creatures lurk beneath the pill room. Senior brother probably doesn't know either, but keeping so many crocodiles, they must be fed constantly. I don't know why father..." Yeah, this Valley Master guy he is getting worse and worse. He's like a really bad dude. All right. Good time for a break. I'll be right back. 5 minutes. All right, we're back. Okay. Let's see the secret behind what's going on. Thinking of her father's cruelty, she shuddered. Yang Guo surveyed their surroundings. Behind the rocks lay a patch of dense darkness, likely the entrance to a passage, but it was too far and too dim to see clearly. Even if it really is a passage, who knows what fierce creatures might lurk inside? The danger could be even worse, but we can't just sit here and wait to die. If I must die, better to gamble on a chance to live. As long as I can save Miss Gongsun and deliver the heartless pill to Auntie, that will be enough. He handed the dagger to Lua. I'll go take a look. Watch out for the crocodiles. Pushing off with his left foot, he flew into the pool. Lua gave a startled cry. Yang Guo stepped on the belly of the dead crocodile with his right foot and used it to spring upward, then touched the back of another crocodile with his left. That crocodile sank straight down, but Yang Guo had already leapt to the far side, pressed against the rock wall. Reaching back, he called, There really is a big hole here. Lua's lightness skill was far inferior. She dared not leap across. Yang Guo thought that carrying her back would make the two of them too heavy, and the crocodiles wouldn't support their weight. At this point, they could only keep risking everything. He called, Miss Gongsun, soak your long robe and throw it over. Lua didn't know his plan, but obeyed. She took off her robe, dipped it in the water, lifted it quickly, tied 2 knots to make it a ball, and called, Here it comes! She hurled it toward him. Yang Guo caught it, untied it, found a foothold on the rock wall, took hold of a protruding edge with his left hand, and swung the wet robe with his right. Listen carefully to the sound! He sent the robe forward and snapped it back. With a sharp smack, it struck the mouth of the opening. He struck 3 times and asked, Can you tell where the opening is? Lua listened, judged the distance and direction, and said, Yes. Yang Guo said, Jump up and grab the rope. I'll pull you over. Lua tried hard to widen her eyes, but everything ahead was pitch black. Fear rose in her. I can't. Yang Guo said, Don't be afraid. If you miss and fall in, I'll jump in out right after you. We weren't afraid of the crocodiles before. Now that we have a dagger sharp enough to cut iron, what's there to fear? Fear. He gave another sharp swing. Gongsun Lua gritted her teeth, pushed off hard with both feet, and leapt into the air. She followed the sound of the robe, grabbed with both hands. Her right caught the hem, her left grasped empty air. Yang Guo felt the weight sink into his hand, flicked his wrist, and sent her to the opening. Fearing she might not find her footing, he swung the robe forward and immediately leapt after her, lifting her lightly at the waist and settling her safely at the edge. Lua cried out in joy, We did it! Your idea was wonderful. Yang Guo laughed. Ha 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 ha! Who knows what strange beasts or poisons are in this cave? We can only leave it to fate. He bent down and crawled inside. Lua handed the dagger to him. You take it. She accepted her robe back and put it on. The entrance was very narrow, and they had to crawl on their knees. The damp air of the crocodile pool made the passage wet and slippery with a foul stench. As they crawled, Yang Guo laughed. Ha 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 ha! This morning we were admiring the passion flowers in the sunrise, mountains bright with colors and birds singing, and just a few hours later we end up here. I truly have put you through hardship. Lua said, How is any of this your fault? They crawled for a while. The tunnel gradually widened until they could stand upright. They walked for a long time. Still, no end was in sight, but the ground grew more level. Yang Guo laughed. Ha ha ha! Looks like some Chinese words. We're turning towards better times. Lua sighed. Hey, Brother Young, you're unhappy. You don't have to force jokes just to cheer me. Before she finished, a loud burst of laughter suddenly erupted from the left. Is this the old lady? Ha 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 ha. The sounds were clearly laughter, yet they carried the weight of wailing. Losh to the rescue. The Chinese words say, end of bitterness and the beginning of sweetness. I see. Ha 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 ha. But the tone was desolate and grief-stricken. Neither Yang Guo nor Luo had ever heard such a sound, neither laughter nor crying, and in this pitch-black tunnel, its sudden appearance was more terrifying than facing any venomous serpent or beast. Even Yang Guo, bold as he was, jumped in fright, striking his forehead against the low ceiling. Luo broke into a cold sweat, her hair standing on end, and seized his legs in terror. They didn't know what to do, too afraid to advance, unwilling to retreat. Luo whispered, Is it a ghost? Her voice was barely audible, yet at once the sound on the left rose again in its eerie laugh cry. Correct. I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost. Young Guo thought, if she calls herself a ghost, she can't be one. He raised his voice. I, Yang Guo, and Miss Gongsun have met with danger and only seek to escape. We mean no harm to anyone. The voice suddenly interrupted him. Miss Gongsun? What Miss Gongsun? Yang Guo said, the daughter of the Valley Master Gongsun, Gongsun Lue. Silence fell completely, as though the mysterious person had vanished into thin air. That eerie, not crying, not laughing voice had already frightened them deeply. Now the sudden stillness in the dark made their terror even worse. They clung together, not daring to move. After a long time, the voice suddenly barked. What Valley Master Gongsun? You mean Gongsun Ji? Anger simmered in her tone, and it was now unmistakably the voice of a woman. Lua gathered her courage and said, My father's given name is indeed Chi. Senior, do you know him? The woman gave a cold, mirthless chuckle. Do I know him? Do I know him? Lua dared not reply. After another long pause, the voice demanded, What is your name? Lua said, My childhood name is Lua, the green of red and green, the calyx of the flower calyx. The woman snorted. What year, month, day, and hour were you born? Lua wondered why this strange person wanted her birth date, surely to use some witchcraft against her. She whispered to Yang Guo, Should I tell her? Before Yang Guo could answer, the woman said coldly, You're 18 this year, born on the 3rd day of the 2nd month, at the hour of the dog. Isn't that so? Lua gasped. You, how do you know? Oh my god, it's her mother! Was I right? Suddenly, an indescribable feeling rose in her heart. She knew instinctively that the strange woman would not harm her. She broke away from Yang Guo and rushed forward, turning 2 bends. Then a burst of blinding light filled her eyes. There, half naked and bald, an old woman sat cross-legged on the ground, her face filled with wrath and a chilling authority. Lua cried out softly and froze. Yang Guo feared for her safety and hurried in after her. The old woman sat in a natural stone chamber. The far end was lost in darkness. Overhead was a round opening a yard across through which sunlight shone. The opening was more than 100 feet above. She must have fallen in by accident and been trapped ever since. Fallen in? Nah, she was pushed in. Even if someone passed overhead, they would never hear shouts from so deep below. Yet, how had she survived such a fall? Yanguo saw many wild jujube trees growing where the sunlight reached. Could she have landed in the branches and survived? She wore only coverings made of bark and leaves, clearly the remnants of clothing long since decayed during her years in this pit. The old woman acted as though Yangguo did not exist. She scrutinized Lua from head to toe, then suddenly gave a sorrowful smile. Girl, you are very beautiful. Lua returned a polite smile, stepped forward, and bowed. Greetings, senior. The old woman threw her head back and laughed, that same eerie, half-crying, half-laughing sound. Senior, I'm fine, I'm fine. Her face darkened with anger. Lua had no idea how a simple greeting had offended her. Frightened, she turned to Yangguo for help. Yangguo thought that after being trapped in this cave for so many years, it was only natural the old woman's mind had become unstable. Oh yeah? Same as Xiaolong. He gave Lua a slight shake of the head and a small smile, signaling her not to take the woman's words seriously. Then he looked around, considering how they might climb out. The opening overhead was high, but with his lightness skill, it was not absolutely impossible to attempt. But Lua was wholly focused on the old woman. The woman's hair was sparse, nearly bald, and her face lined with deep wrinkles, yet her eyes shone brightly. She stared fixedly at Lua, and Lua stared back. The two looked only at each other, ignoring Yangguo entirely. After a moment, the old woman suddenly said, You have a cinnabar mark on the left side of your waist, don't you? Lua gasped again. Even father may not know of that red mark. How could this old woman, hidden so deep underground, know such things? She even knows my birth date. She must be closely connected to my family. She asked softly, Grandma, you must know my father and my mother who passed away, don't you? The old woman froze. Your mother who died? Ha! Of course I knew her. Suddenly, her tone sharpened. Do you have that red mark on your waist? Undo your clothes and show me. If you utter half a lie, I'll take your life on the spot. Lua flushed and glanced back at Yang Guo. He quickly turned around, facing away. Lua loosened her robe and lifted her inner garment, revealing her snowy, flawless waist. And there was indeed a thumb-sized crimson mark, bright as a red plum blossom against snow. It's your mother! What's the cinnabar? Red. Thanks, Psyduck. The old woman shuddered violently at the sight, tears welling up. She suddenly flung her arms wide and cried, My darling child, your mother has missed you so bitterly. All right. I knew it. Oh my god. Did that motherfucker trap her inside here? Oh my god. At the expression on her face, Lua's instincts surged forth. She rushed into the old woman's arms, crying, Mother! Mother! Hearing one call darling child and the other cry mother, Yang Guo was stunned. He turned around and saw them locked tightly in each other's embrace, Lua sobbing against her, while the old woman's tears streamed freely. Could this old woman truly be her mother? Suddenly, the old woman's brows shot up, murderous fury sweeping across her face, exactly like Gongsun-ju's expression when he struck. Young Guo thought, not good, and stepped forward, afraid she might harm Lua. But she only pushed Lua gently on the shoulder and barked, stand aside. I'm going to question you. Lua stepped back in confusion, murmuring again, Mother. The old woman demanded, why did Gongsun-ju send you? Did he tell you to deceive me with honeyed words? Lua shook her head. Mother, you're alive, Mother! Her expression mixed joy with pain, pure mother-daughter affection, impossible to fake. But the old woman still pressed harshly. Gongsun-ju told you I was dead, didn't he? Lua said, for more than 10 years, I thought I was truly a motherless orphan. I never imagined you were alive and well. I'm so happy today. The old woman pointed at Young Guo. And who is he? Why did you bring him here? Lua said, Mother, listen to me. She told everything. From how Young Guo entered Passionless Valley, how he was poisoned by the passion flowers, to how they both fell into the crocodile pool. Only the matter of Gongsun-ju wanting to marry Xiaolong Nu she completely omitted, afraid her mother would be angered or distressed. Whenever Lua spoke vaguely, the old woman questioned her in detail. Aside from Xiaolong Nu's matter, Lua hid nothing. As the old woman listened, her expression gradually softened, and her gaze toward Young Guo grew kinder and kinder. When she heard how Young Guo fought the crocodiles and protected Lua, she nodded repeatedly. Good, good. Young man, my daughter didn't choose you wrongly. Lua flushed crimson and bowed her head. Young Guo considered all the complicated implications, but did not wish to elaborate. He said, Auntie Gongsun, we should first think of a way to escape. The old woman's face suddenly darkened. What, Auntie Gongsun? Those 4 words must never leave your mouth again. I may look weak in limb, but killing you would be the easiest thing in the world. Suddenly, with a po sound, something shot from her mouth and struck Young Guo's dagger with a sharp clang. Young Guo felt a violent shock in his arm. His 5 fingers could not hold steady. Clang! The dagger dropped to the ground. Startled, he leapt back. Beside the dagger spun a jujube pit, still whirling rapidly on the stone floor. Oh shit. He stared in disbelief. With my grip, even the golden wheel Dharma King's wheels, Daerba's golden pestle, or Gongsun-ji's serrated golden blade couldn't knock the weapon out of my hand. Yet this old woman spat out a jujube pit and struck the dagger from my grasp. Even if I wasn't prepared, her skill is unfathomable. Seeing his expression change, Lua quickly said, Brother Yang, my mother would never harm you. She took his hand and turned anxiously to her mother. Mother, teach him how you want to be addressed. He doesn't know. The old woman chuckled. Fine. This old woman does not change her name or surname. In the Jianghu, they call me Iron Palm Lotus, Qiu Tianqi. What should you call me? Aren't you going to kneel and kowtow and call me honored mother-in-law? Uh-huh. Lua quickly said, Mother, you don't know. Brother Yang and I are innocent. He has only ever treated me with kindness, nothing more. Qiu Tianqi snapped, Innocent? Nothing more? Then why are you wearing only your underclothes with his robe around you? True. Hey, what's going on? Her voice rose sharply. If this young fellow dares behave as shamelessly as that Gong Sun Ji, I'll see him die without a burial place. Young, will you marry my daughter or not? Young Guo thought her words were utterly deranged. He had barely exchanged a few sentences, and she already wanted to force him to marry her daughter. Yet refusing outright would embarrass Lua terribly, and Qiu Qianqi's martial skill was frightening. Her temperament strange. A single wrong word might provoke her into killing him. Trapped together in this cave, escaping came first. So he smiled lightly. Senior, please rest assured. Miss Gongsun risked her life to save me. I, Young Guo, am no heartless man. Her kindness and grace, I will never forget them as long as I live. Lua told her the whole story, so she should know why Lua wasn't wearing her clothes. Maybe she left out that part. Her words were evasive, neither a refusal nor a promise, but they sounded pleasing to Qiu Qianqi's ears. Is this a third sibling for the twins? Wait, what do you mean? The Magician and Baby Killer. Chu Qianren, Chu Qiancheng. Oh. Oh, the Chu guy. Whatever. The words were evasive, neither a refusal nor a promise, but they sounded pleasing to Chu Qianqi's ears. She nodded. Good. That's good. Lua understood his meaning. She cast him a glance, full of quiet sorrow, then lowered her head. After a long moment, she asked Chu Qianqi, Mother, how did you end up here? Why did father say you had died? I grieved for you for more than 10 years. If I'd known you were here, I would have given my life to come find you. Seeing her mother half naked, she tried to put Young Guo's robe on her, but since she herself was inadequately clothed, she tore the front and back panels off the robe and draped them over her mother's shoulders. Young Guo felt a stab of pain, not only at seeing the robe Xiaolong Nu had sewn reduced to scraps, but the sorrow triggered the passion flower poison, sending sharp agony through his body. Qiu Qianqi's expression flickered. Her right hand trembled as it reached into her bosom, as if to retrieve something. But after a moment's hesitation, she withdrew it empty. Lua noticed this subtle movement and quickly pleaded, Mother, can you help cure Brother Young's passion flower poison? Chu Qianqi said coolly, I'm trapped here, unable to save myself. How can I save others? Lua said anxiously, Mother, if you save Brother Young, he'll surely save you. Even if you don't save him, he'll still try his best to help. Brother Young, isn't that so? Young Guo disliked Chu Qianqi's cruel and erratic nature, but for Lua's sake, he said, Of course, Senior, you've been here long. You must know this place well. Please show us a way out. Chu Qianqi sighed deeply. Though this place is deep underground, leaving isn't difficult. She glanced at Young Guo. You must be wondering, if escape is easy, why do I remain here? Alas, my limbs' sinews were severed long ago. All my martial arts are gone. Well, she can still spit seeds and stuff, no? Young Guo had already noticed something strange about her movements, but Lua was shocked. You fell from the hole above and were injured? Chu Qianqi's voice turned icy. No, I was crippled by someone. Oh. Lu trembled. Mother, who harmed you? We must avenge you. Who do you think? Chu Qianqi let out a cold, rasping laugh. Revenge. Do you even have the heart for it? The one who severed the tendons in my hands and feet was none other than Gongsun Ji. Bum bum bum. Ever since Lua learned this woman was her mother, a faint dread had lingered in her heart, but hearing it spoken aloud still made her whole body jolt. Why? Why would he do that? Because he's a bad dude. Chu Qianqi cast a chilly glance at Yang Guo. All because I killed someone, a young and beautiful woman. Because I killed the woman Gongsun Ji loved. Her teeth ground together until they grated. Frightened, Lua edged away from her mother and unconsciously moved closer to Yang Guo. For a moment, the stone cavern fell utterly silent. Suddenly, Chu Qianqi said, You're hungry, aren't you? There are only dates in this cave for filling the belly. What does she eat? What does she eat? She dropped to all fours and crawled forward like a beast. Oh no. Swift and practiced. Lua and Yang Guo both felt their hearts twist at the sight. But Chu Qianqi had moved this way for more than a decade and no longer cared. Lua was about to rush over to help her when she saw her already crouched beneath a large jujube tree. I bet she can still fight. She's like crawling around and stuff. It's probably hella powerful. No one knew in which year or month a date had blown in from the hole overhead, fallen to the soil, sprouted and grown. It had blossomed and borne fruit, flourishing year after year until 5 or 6 dozen trees of all sizes now filled the cavern. Had that one date not fallen, or fallen but failed to grow, Yang Guo and Gongsun Lua would have found only a pile of white bones when they entered this cave. How do you survive on just dates? Who could have imagined that those bones belonged to a remarkable figure of the martial world? Lua, least of all, would never have known they were her own mother's. Chu Qianqi picked up a date pit from the ground, put it into her mouth, tilted her head back, and blew. The pit shot upward several zhang and struck a tree trunk. The branches trembled, and dozens of dates rained down like a sudden shower. Yang Guo nodded secretly. So, it was after her tendons were severed that she forced herself to master this strange skill of spitting date pits. Heaven never truly blocks a man's road. There's truth in that. His spirits lifted slightly at the thought. Lua gathered the fallen dates and handed them to her mother and Yang Guo before eating a few herself. In this underground cavern, the way she tended to her guest and served her mother had the air of a young matron managing her household. Chu Qianqi had suffered calamities beyond imagination. 10 long years of hatred had rotted in her heart. Even a gentle soul would have turned hard, let alone someone as hot-tempered as she. Yet blood was blood. Seeing the daughter she had yearned for night and day, now grown into such a bright and graceful young woman, the sharp edges in her heart softened. What wicked things did Gongsun Zhi say about me? Lua said, Papa never spoke of you. When I was little, I asked him whether I looked like you, and what illness you died from. He suddenly flew into a rage, scolded me fiercely, and forbade me ever to ask again. A few years later, I tried once more. He scolded me again, just as harshly. Chu Qianqi said, Then, what did you think in your heart? Tears welled in Lua's eyes. I always thought Mama must have been beautiful and gentle, and that you and Papa were deeply in love. After you died, he must have felt too sad to let anyone mention you. So later on, I didn't dare ask anymore. Chu Qianqi let out a cold laugh. Now you must be terribly disappointed. Your mother is neither beautiful nor kind, just a vicious, ugly old crone. Had I known, I think it would have been better if you'd never seen me. Lua wrapped her arms around her neck and said softly, Mama, you look exactly like what I imagined. She turned to Young Guo. Brother Young, my mother is very beautiful, isn't she? She's good to me, and good to you too, isn't she? The sincerity in her voice ran deep. In her heart, her mother was truly the best woman in the world. Young Guo thought, perhaps she was beautiful in her youth. Yeah, don't say that out loud. But now, how can I call her beautiful? And she may treat you well, but toward me, who knows what she intends? But since Lua had asked with such earnestness, he could only say, Yes, you're right. But his tone lacked Lua's sincerity, and Qiu Qianqi noticed at once. Heaven has finally shown pity and reunited me with my daughter. Today her heart is full of affection, but who knows whether it will always remain so. I must tell her clearly of the injustice I suffered. She said, that is too hard to say. You want to know why I ended up here, and why Gong Sun Zhi told you I was dead. Sit properly, and I'll tell you slowly. Chu Qianqi said, Gong Sun Zhi's ancestors were officials in the Tang. Wait, why'd I do that? Gong Sun Zhi's ancestors were officials in the Tang. To escape the Anqi rebellion, the whole clan fled to this secluded valley. His forebears served as military officers, and he inherited their martial skills. Though he surpassed them, his true mastery, his highest arts, were taught by me. Young Guo and Lua both cried out in surprise. Chu Qianqi continued, You're both too young to understand. The Iron Palm sect's leader, Iron Palm soaring on water Qiu Qianren, is my elder brother. Wait! Young Guo, tell I can't. Tell what you know of the Iron Palm sect. Young Guo was startled. Iron Palm sect? This disciple is ignorant. I truly don't know what that is. Chu Qianqi cursed. You little brat, lying straight to my face. The Iron Palm sect's fame shook the rivers and lakes. Along with the Beggar clan, it was one of the two greatest sects in the land. How can you not know it? Young Guo said, The Beggar clan I've heard of, but this Iron Palm sect. Chu Qianqi grew agitated. Ha! And you call yourself a student of the martial arts. You don't even know the Iron Palm sect. Are you surprised? I wasn't surprised. Lua, seeing her mother flushed with anger, interjected. Mama, Brother Young isn't even 20. He grew up deep in the mountains learning martial arts. He doesn't know much about the affairs of the martial world. That's normal. Chu Qianqi ignored her and continued grumbling. 20 years earlier, the Iron Palm sect had indeed flourished, but at the second sword meet on Mount Hua, their leader, Qiu Qianren, converted to Buddhism and became Master Yidong's disciple. The sect scattered soon afterward. When this happened, Young Guo had just been born. Later, no one mentioned it to him, so it was natural he knew nothing. In truth, his mother, Mu Nianzu, had conceived him after being violated by his father, Yang Kang, on Iron Palm Peak, the sect's headquarters. Hearing Qiu Qianqi speak of it now, he was completely confounded. Qiu Qianqi, having lived in seclusion in Passionless Valley for nearly 30 years, had heard nothing of the martial world's changes. She assumed the Iron Palm sect still dominated, as it had for centuries. Hearing Yang Guo claim ignorance of even its name naturally drove her into a fury. Yang Guo endured her unreasonable tirade at first, but as her insults grew more nonsensical, anger stirred in him. He raised his head, ready to retort sharply, only to see Luo watching him with tender, apologetic eyes. His heart softened. He gave a helpless expression, and even felt faintly pleased. The harsher her mother scolds me, the kinder she'll be to me. An old woman's nagging is wind at the ear. A beauty's gentleness is warmth in the heart. His irritation melted away, and his mind turned nimble again. Wen Yanping's martial arts resemble Gongsun Ji's. She also said she learned iron palm techniques. There must be a connection. Closing his eyes, he recalled most of the moves Wen Yanping used against Yulu Qi, and Gongsun Ji's techniques were clearer still. Their bouts only hours past. He suddenly exclaimed, "Ah, I remember!" Qiu Qianqi asked, "What is it?" Yang Guo said, 3 years ago, I saw a great martial artist fight 18 heroes. With bare hands, he crippled 9 and killed 9. I heard he was from the Iron Palm sect." Yang Guo rambled. His head was bald, about 60 years old, ruddy-faced, tall, wearing a green robe. He said his surname was Qiu. Qiu Qianqi suddenly barked, "Nonsense! My 2 elder brothers aren't bald. They're short, and they never wore green. Just because my head is bald and I'm tall, you think my brothers must look the same?" Yang Guo cried out inwardly, "I've slipped up." But his face stayed calm, and he smiled. "Don't get upset. I never said that man was your brother. Does every man surnamed Chu in the world have to be your brother?" Qiu Qianqi had no answer to that, and instead asked, "Then, what were his martial arts like?" Yang Guo stood and demonstrated several of Wen Yanping's punches, then blended in Gongsun Ji's movements and palm techniques. As he continued, he grew smoother and more forceful. In the cavern, palm shadows fluttered and fists roared like tigers. Though the moves were not quite authentic, they far surpassed Wen Yanping's original techniques. Wherever her skills had been lacking, he instinctively filled the gaps, making each motion tight and complete, and with every palm strike, he deliberately added a hint of ruthless strength. Qiu Qianqi watched in delight. This is exactly my Iron Palm sect's martial arts. Look carefully." Yang Guo continued striking as she pointed and explained the deadly nuances behind each move. Yang Guo felt secretly amused. "If I keep going, I'll expose myself." He withdrew and said, "At this point, that martial master had already won decisively, so the fight ended." Qiu Qianqi was pleased. "You remembered many moves incorrectly, and the handwork is wrong. But to perform them this well is not easy. What was this expert's name? What did he say to you?" Yang Guo said, "That master was elusive. After his victory, he floated away. I only heard the 9 injured men lying on the ground complaining to each other, saying, 'How dare we offend Elder Chu of the Iron Palm sect? Isn't that courting death?'" Qiu Qianqi exclaimed, "Yes, that Chu fellow must be one of my brother's disciples." She loved martial arts, and after more than 10 years unable to move her limbs freely, seeing her own sect's techniques performed set her heart racing. She launched eagerly into a long discussion of the Iron Palm sect's palms and lightness skills. Yang Guo, however, was desperate to leave the cave and bring the passionless pill to Xiaolongnu. Although her explanations were profound and truly enlightening, how could he concentrate when Xiaolongnu was suffering? He glanced meaningfully at Luo. Lua understood and asked, Mama, how did you teach martial arts to Papa? Chu Chenchu snapped, Call him Gongsun Chi. What, Papa? Lua said, Yes, Mama, please go on. Chu Chenchu gave a bitter snort. After a long moment, she said, It was more than 20 years ago. My two older brothers had a quarrel. Lua cut in, I have two uncles? Chu Chenchu said, You didn't know? Her tone turned sharply accusing. Lua thought, How would I know? She replied, No one ever told me. Chu Chenchu let out a long sigh. Hey, you truly know nothing. Pitiful, pitiful. After a pause, she said, Your two uncles are twins. Your eldest uncle, Chu Chencheng, and your second uncle, Chu Chenren. Their bodies, faces, even their voices are identical, but their fortunes and tempers are completely different. Second brother's martial arts are extraordinary. Elder brothers are mediocre. My skills were taught personally by second brother, yet eldest brother was far closer to me. Second brother, as the sect leader, was busy with affairs and rigorous in his practice. He seldom saw me, and when teaching me, he was strict and sparing with words. Eldest brother, however, called me little sister this and little sister that, and cherished me deeply. When the two quarreled, I naturally took eldest brother's side. Right. I think we're done. Yeah. I think we should stop here. All right. How'd you guys like that? Yep. Valley Master, not a good guy. The lore, not a good guy. We can do the lore next time. Good chapter. Yeah. Yeah. Fighting crocodiles. That was cool. Okay. All right. There's no way you can survive on just dates, right? I don't know how that works. For 10 years? I thought they were gonna say like maybe she ate some crocodiles for protein, but no, it was just dates. In the TVB version, Chu Chen Chi was your childhood nightmare. Oh, did she look? Can we look her up? What year was that? Hmm. You checking? Okay. Yeah, I want to see what she looks like. She sounds very powerful. Yeah. And I feel like don't you guys feel like she's still strong, even though her sinews, her tendons were cut? Like if she's crawling around and like shooting things out of her mouth, I mean, I think she's a good contender. Her anger gives her strength. True. Oh, what happens if she meets Chu Chen Chi? So what I Gong Sun Chi? What happens if she meets him again? Ah, the fight would be good. I want to see that. I want to see that happen. Oh yeah, she's definitely gonna want to kill Xiaolong Nu. How dare this girl compete with my daughter? All right, let's look her up. Do-do-do-do-do. What's the characters for Chu Tianqi? Is that it? I can't find. Oh wait. Is it this one?
我是求仙。
Oh, Google Images. Okay. All right. All right. Hold on. Whoa. Wait, what is this? No. Uh-huh. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Look at this. What is this? Why is she so pretty? Actually, this one I like. Oh, yeah. So good. Okay. Oh, there you go. That's her. Not even bald. True. No, she's pretty bald. What is this? Look. Is that bad makeup? You can clearly see. You can clearly see that it's like a thing on the head. Her spitting dates pit skills also frightening. That's what I want to see a video. Hold on. Don't. Nah. Too hard to find. All right. I'll look it up later. All right, cool. So that's Our Lady. That's Our Lady. Who's better, this lady or Gong Sun-chi? There must still be things we don't know yet. Yeah, she's gonna tell us. Who are you rooting for when they fight? This lady or Gong Sun-chi? I'm rooting for this lady. I'm not a big fan of that guy. She said she killed the woman Gong Sun-chi loved. Yeah, so? Isn't she his wife? Yeah. I'm kind of thinking he cheated on her. What the fuck? Angry lady will win with pure rage. Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm excited to see what happens next. What her story is. Well, I guess he's only if she's telling the story, then it's like it's her side of the story, right? So he's probably gonna favor her, whatever that story is. All right. Cool. Well, that was fun. All right, I'm excited for the lore in the next chapter. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. I love you. I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.